6-year-old girl vanished after stepping off her school bus. A few days later, she was found in the woods behind a neighborhood, showing signs of asphyxiation after being restrained.
And as your vice president and as a father, let me say, we were deeply saddened to receive word this afternoon that the remains of Faye Swetlik, a 6-year-old girl who went missing from her parents' front yard just 3 days ago, have been found.
The trail led to a man who lived nearby, and the case came to a sorrowful close when he ended his own life. The story centers on 6-year-old Faye Marie Swetlik, a little girl who lived with her mother, Selena, in the peaceful Churchill Heights neighborhood of Cayce, South Carolina. Faye attended Springdale Elementary School and was loved by everyone in the neighborhood for her cheerful, intelligent, humorous, and kind personality. On February 10, 2020, just a few minutes before 3 p.m., Faye stepped off the Springdale school bus as usual. She happily greeted her mother, walked the short distance home, and excitedly shared stories about her day at school. Selena always called her daughter her little fairy miracle, because Faye constantly radiated positive energy and spread joy to everyone around her. She loved wearing colorful outfits, was fascinated by sparkly things, and often stopped in the middle of the street just to compliment a stranger's beautiful hair or cute shirt. Selena said her daughter was always the first to smile and say something kind to others, even to people she had never met before. We couldn't go anywhere without her stopping 3 or 4 times to compliment someone, from their hair to their shoes or the color of their shirt, and she always wanted to make new friends. When the mother and daughter arrived home in the Churchill Heights neighborhood, Faye had a quick snack and then ran out to play in the front yard, as she did every day. Many neighbors confirmed they often saw the little girl playing nearby, always greeting everyone with her bright smile. Selena kept an eye on her through the window, occasionally stepping outside to check, but she didn't notice anything unusual. One neighbor reported seeing Faye running toward the fence near the Naipaya auto parts store sometime between 3:30 and 4 p.m. Around 3:45, Selena went outside to check on her again, but couldn't see her anywhere. She immediately ran around the neighborhood, calling friends and neighbors to ask if anyone had seen Faye, hoping her daughter was just playing nearby, but everyone said they hadn't seen her. When every attempt to find her around the house and surrounding area failed, Selena calmly called the 911 emergency line at 5 p.m. to report that her daughter was missing.
Right, you tell me exactly what's happening?
We can't find my daughter. She was playing outside, and now I can't find her. I have
Okay, how old is she?
She is 6. She's going to be 7 in June.
All right, I'm going to stay on the line with you, but I'm going to get KCPD on the line too, but I'm going to stay on the line, so don't hang up, okay?
Okay.
All right, ma'am, you're on the phone with Cayce. Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Could you tell me what your son's name is? My daughter's name is Faye Swetlik. Faye.
Hold on. All right. What was the first name again?
Faye.
Faye, Faye?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what's your last name?
Swetlik.
Spell that for me.
Swetlik.
Okay, and what was she wearing?
She was wearing polka dotted rain boots, a flowered skirt,
Okay.
and
And
a black
kind of shirt?
t-shirt that has a neon design on it.
And how long has she been gone?
Last I saw her was probably about an hour ago.
How tall is she?
She is 3'10".
3 foot? How much does she weigh?
65 pounds.
All right. You last saw her in the front yard. You didn't see which way she went or anything like that.
No, she was just right in front of my front porch.
Just minutes after the 911 call was received, officers from the Cayce Department of Public Safety quickly arrived at Selena's home to begin the search. By around 5:30 p.m., more than 50 first responders, along with search dogs and rescue teams, had been deployed throughout the Churchill Heights area. Everything moved at a rapid pace, with each house in the neighborhood being carefully inspected. Only an hour later, at about 6 p.m., the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, officially joined the effort, working alongside the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, SLED, and a temporary command center was set up right within the neighborhood. The local community responded immediately as well. Dozens of residents volunteered to help with the search, but authorities asked them to hold off to allow professional teams to conduct a systematic sweep, ensuring that all potential evidence would be fully preserved. As the search expanded throughout the Churchill Heights area, Faye's father, Faye Swetlik, was quickly notified by authorities. FBI agents arrived at his home to conduct checks, gather data, and confirm any information that could assist in the search. No trace of Faye was found there, and later cell phone location records confirmed that Chad had been home all afternoon, effectively ruling him out as a suspect. Meanwhile, officers from the Cayce Department of Public Safety continued going door to door across the neighborhood, urging all residents with security cameras, especially video doorbells, to come forward and hand over any footage recorded between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. They hoped those small pieces of video could provide crucial clues that might help uncover the whereabouts of the 6-year-old girl.
Comes to checking on those home security cameras, that's something that we're already doing. Certainly we'll be going, continue to go door to door and then even revisit some of these doors a second time.
Ashley Hunter, a spokesperson for the city of Cayce, asked that the community continue to share recordings with law enforcement.
People in the community, in the Churchill Heights community, if you have home security systems, Ring, Wise Video, anything like that, talk with our investigators and let them reach out and obtain some of that video.
Throughout that evening, the FBI deployed a helicopter to scan the area from above, while K-9 units were sent out to track any possible scent on the ground. However, Cayce Director of Public Safety Byron Snellgrove stated that, at that point, there wasn't enough evidence to determine that this was an abduction case. Because of that, an Amber Alert, which requires confirmation of an abduction along with details about a suspect or related vehicle, could not yet be issued. By 7 a.m. following morning, a dedicated hotline was established to collect tips, and within just a few hours, nearly 300 pieces of information were submitted by residents. Police followed every lead and verified each call, but no promising results emerged. At this stage, more than 250 officers and investigators from multiple agencies across the United States had joined the search for Faye, creating a controlled perimeter around the Churchill Heights neighborhood, where every vehicle entering or leaving was stopped and checked. As the clock neared the 24-hour mark since Selena's 911 call, authorities decided to hold their first press conference to provide updates and reassure the anxious community still waiting for news about the little girl.
We've all been gathered here for one thing today, and that's to find Faye. The last time Faye was seen, she was wearing a black shirt with the word peace across the front of it. The photos that you have, her hair's a little bit longer than it is today. We're trying to get pictures of that, but it's been cut to about shoulder length or just above. Faye's parents are anxiously awaiting her return. What we would like to ask is that you hold on to a phone number, 205-4444. And we specifically asked that the residents of Churchill Heights here in Cayce who have cameras such as surveillance cameras around their houses, doorbell cameras, Ring doorbell cameras, anything like that, anything that records, and have any type of recording on their devices between the time of 2 and 5 p.m. yesterday, please call us at that number. Let us know that you have that recording. We'll come get it, look at it, and it may be key in us proceeding with this case. Now again, we're here for one reason. We're here to find Faye.
Even though search teams had been working tirelessly around the clock, authorities were still unable to determine whether Faye had simply wandered away from her yard and gotten lost nearby, or if something more serious had happened to her. However, as time passed, the possibility that the 6-year-old had left home on her own became increasingly unlikely. To aid the community in the search, the Cayce Department of Public Safety released footage from the school bus camera showing the last known images of Faye on the afternoon of February 10th. In the video, she steps down from the bus with a bright smile, wearing a black t-shirt with the word "Peace" written across the front, paired with a floral skirt and adorable polka dot rain boots. That image quickly spread across local media, with the hope that anyone who might have seen the little girl between 3 and 4 p.m. would come forward and share information that could help police piece together the remaining fragments of this tense and heartbreaking search. As the search entered a more intensive phase, authorities began interviewing those closest to Faye in order to rule out each possible scenario. The list included her mother, Selena, Selena's live-in boyfriend, Carter, and Faye's biological father, Chad Swetlik. According to the Cayce Department of Public Safety, at that point no one was being ruled out. As the investigation was still in the information gathering stage and no specific suspect had been identified, one of the detectives in charge of the case stated, "There are no clear signs that anyone is responsible, but we have to examine every possible angle." In the following days, police conducted thorough searches of each person's residence, collected DNA samples, reviewed phone records, and verified alibis. The results confirmed that all family members were fully cooperative and that there was no evidence linking them to Faye's disappearance. As a result, they were officially cleared of suspicion, allowing investigators to shift their focus toward new leads outside the family circle. By February 12, 2020, after 2 days of relentless searching, police released images extracted from security cameras showing 2 vehicles leaving the Churchill Heights area around the same time Faye was last seen. Investigators immediately tracked down and identified the drivers of both vehicles, but after verification, they were ruled out of suspicion. The investigation once again returned to square one, with no clear sign of where Faye might be. On the morning of Thursday, February 13th, regular trash collection day in the neighborhood, officers decided to conduct one final inspection before the garbage trucks arrived, knowing that any piece of evidence removed could mean losing the chance to solve the case. Every trash bin around Piccadilly Square was carefully opened and checked. When they reached house number 602, they discovered a suspicious object described as significant evidence. While details were not immediately disclosed, the entire investigative team quickly realized they had found a crucial link. That discovery led them back to the wooded area behind the neighborhood, a place they had already searched before but now believed they might have missed something vital hidden in the shadows of the dense trees. After quickly regrouping, investigators remapped the key search area around the wooded section behind the Churchill Heights neighborhood. Less than 30 minutes later, their days-long search led to a heartbreaking discovery. Cayce Director of Public Safety Byron Snellgrove, while re-examining the woods, found the remains of Faye Marie Swetlik hidden in a shallow grave less than 200 feet from her home. After examination by the coroner's office, experts determined that Faye had passed away only a few hours after she went missing, and that her body showed signs of having been moved. While police were still securing the area and collecting evidence at the scene, another urgent call came from Piccadilly Square, the same location where the significant piece of evidence had been found earlier that morning. There, officers discovered a man lying on the back porch of a house, critically injured and unresponsive. His identity was not immediately released, and authorities initially remained silent about whether the two incidents were connected, pending forensic analysis and scene evaluation.
Since our last briefing this morning, we have had several developments to share with you. It is with extremely heavy hearts that we are announcing that we have found the body that the coroner has identified as Faye Marie Swetlik. We are now treating this case as a homicide. As this community has been working hard to find Faye and bring her home safely, we wanted you to know as soon as possible. At this time, no arrests have been made. You need to know that this is a fluid investigation and that we are working diligently on it. We also need to inform you that during the course of our investigation, a deceased male was located in the Churchill Heights neighborhood. That investigation has just begun. At this time, we feel there is no danger to the community. We will continue to provide more information as it becomes available. We will not be taking questions. Thank you.
Right after the remains of Faye Marie Swetlik were found, a wave of shock swept through the city of Cayce. The feeling of loss spread quickly, and messages of sympathy, remembrance, and prayer poured in from all over. Residents brought flowers, candles, and small cards, placing them around the area where the little girl had been found, creating a sea of light symbolizing love and sorrow. Many people who had never met Faye still came to pay their respects, saying they felt as though they had lost a part of their own community. Local newspapers described it as a collective heartbreak, a moment when everyone grieved together for a little angel who had left this world far too soon.
All I could think of was my own kids if something were to happen to them.
Oh, I think it was terrible. I feel bad for the family. I feel bad for all the people involved.
The tragedy was so profound that it drew attention from the highest levels of government. Former U.S. Vice President Mike Pence issued a public statement expressing his deep sympathy to Faye's family and offering words of encouragement to all the law enforcement officers involved in the investigation.
And as your Vice President and as a father, let me say, we were deeply saddened to receive word this afternoon that the remains of Faye Swetlik, a 6-year-old girl who went missing from her parents' front yard just 3 days ago, have been found. A few moments ago, I spoke on the phone with FBI Director Christopher Wray, and I have assured Governor McMaster that he will continue to have the full resources of the federal government made available in this investigation.
The man found on the back porch of the house on Piccadilly Square was quickly identified as 30-year-old Cody Scott Taylor, a resident of the Churchill Heights neighborhood who lived just a few houses away from Faye's family. Once the information was made public, questions immediately arose. Who was this man? And could he be connected to the heartbreaking disappearance of Faye Marie Swetlik? Investigators confirmed they were collecting evidence at Cody's residence to determine whether there was a link between the two incidents, which appeared separate but had occurred almost simultaneously.
After a little girl disappeared from her yard, investigators are now revealing more details about her death.
Police say that the body of a man found in the same South Carolina neighborhood is connected to the death of 6-year-old Faye Swetlik.
According to those who knew him, Cody Scott Taylor was a quiet, withdrawn person who rarely socialized and often seemed to view life through a pessimistic lens. Some who had interacted with him described him as lonely, unmotivated, and almost detached from society. Cody lived with a few roommates in the Churchill Heights neighborhood, people who were also his co-workers at the nearby Wingstop restaurant. His roommates said Cody had once confided that he felt hopeless, lost, and frequently fell into a state of emotional crisis, though few realized how serious those struggles truly were. He had previously studied mathematics at the University of South Carolina in Columbia, but records show he never graduated. Several sources suggested he dropped out in 2009. Aside from a few minor traffic violations, he had no criminal history or prior signs of misconduct. When Cody's body was discovered, investigators began reconstructing the sequence of events in the final hours and days before his passing. Although there was initially no clear evidence linking him to Faye, the piece of evidence described as highly significant, found in the trash bin at his home, prompted police to immediately expand their investigation, questioning whether this could be the hidden link that had eluded them in the mystery of her disappearance. Based on the evidence collected, investigators believe that Cody Scott Taylor approached and took Faye Marie Swetlik from her front yard that afternoon. Though to this day, the exact circumstances of how it happened remain unclear. Police found no definitive signs of force, and it is still uncertain whether Faye was lured away or left the area willingly. Forensic experts later determined that Faye had passed away within just a few hours after she went missing. Somehow, Cody managed to conceal her remains inside his apartment for 2 days, even though search teams had inspected the residence twice without discovering anything unusual. On February 12th, while canvassing the Churchill Heights area, officers from the Cayce Department of Public Safety knocked on the apartment where Cody lived with his roommate. Cody was not home at the time, so they spoke with the roommate and conducted a brief inspection inside. During the search, they found a bag of dirty laundry identified as Cody's, from which detectives collected DNA samples for analysis. On the table, they also noticed a missing person flyer for Faye placed neatly, as if Cody had been following every detail of the case. After verifying the roommate's alibi and completing the property check, investigators left the apartment without detecting anything suspicious, never imagining that just 1 day later, every unanswered question would be resolved in a way that would shake the entire community. When Cody Scott Taylor returned home from work that evening, his roommate noticed that he was acting strangely and seemed unusually tense. Normally quiet and withdrawn, Cody appeared anxious, avoided conversation, and seemed unwilling to let anyone enter his personal space. Not long after, the roommate began to notice a strange, strong, and unpleasant odor spreading throughout the apartment hallway. At first, he assumed it came from a cheap air freshener Cody was using to mask the smell of dampness, or possibly some harmful chemical in the air. However, what made him uneasy was that Cody had never cared about using air fresheners before, making this behavior stand out as distinctly unusual. That uneasy feeling led the roommate to suspect that something wasn't right inside the apartment they shared. Later that day, just before 6 p.m., officers from the Cayce Department of Public Safety returned to the apartment where Cody Scott Taylor lived to conduct a second check, hoping to speak with him directly. Cody cooperated and agreed to be interviewed, but when asked about his whereabouts during the time Faye went missing, he was unable to provide a convincing alibi, claiming only that he had been home and asleep all afternoon. After finishing the interview, officers left the apartment without finding anything suspicious, as there were no visible signs of irregularity at that time. However, they had no idea that an important piece of evidence had been unintentionally captured that very same day. A nearby security camera overlooking the wooded area behind Churchill Heights, where search teams had previously scoured, had recorded footage of officers passing through during the search for Faye. Around 1 a.m. On February 13th, the same camera captured a striking detail: a small light moving through the woods, seemingly from a handheld device. The footage showed someone walking through the darkness, shining a light around the area. When this data was later analyzed, police confirmed that the person in the video was none other than Cody Scott Taylor, an unexpected clue that would become a major turning point in the entire investigation. About 6 hours later, just before 7 a.m., on February 13th, security cameras once again captured footage of Cody Scott Taylor walking through the quiet streets of Churchill Heights, heading toward the Walmart on Augusta Road. In the video, he appeared calm but somewhat uneasy. Wandering around the gardening section for nearly 20 minutes. When an employee approached and asked if he needed help, Cody replied that he was planning to plant something, but wasn't sure what to buy. According to his roommate, Cody had never shown any interest in gardening and didn't own a single tool or plant pot in the apartment. The roommate also mentioned that Cody rarely had extra money, but had just received a small paycheck from work the previous evening. A Walmart employee later told police that Cody seemed distracted, grabbing random seed packets from the display shelves without looking at them closely, as if the shopping trip served only to disguise another purpose. About 10 minutes later, he paid for a few bags of soil, some fertilizer, and a box of Pop-Tarts, then left the store in a hurry. After leaving the Walmart on Augusta Road, Cody Scott Taylor requested a ride through the Lyft app to return to the area near his home. According to the driver, Cody seemed tense and quiet, creating an uncomfortable atmosphere inside the car. When the driver casually asked if he was working on a gardening project, Cody gave a faint, awkward smile and quickly changed the subject. During the ride, the car happened to pass through the area where law enforcement officers and media crews were gathered for the search for Faye Swetlik. Curious, the driver asked if he knew the little girl whose disappearance was being reported all over the news, to which Cody coldly replied, "I don't know her. I've never met her before." Later, security cameras in the neighborhood recorded Cody getting out of the car and walking toward the wooded area behind Churchill Heights at around 7:47 a.m. In the footage, he was carrying a large bag of soil, the same one he had just purchased at Walmart. Police believe Cody took the bag into the woods to conceal part of the evidence connected to Faye's passing. He remained there for only about a minute before leaving the area, abandoning the bag on a hillside and returning to the main road. When officers searched the trash bins outside Cody Scott Taylor's apartment, they discovered two crucial pieces of evidence: a child's polka dot rain boot and a spoon covered in dirt. Recognizing the seriousness of this finding, investigators immediately expanded the search area back to the wooded section behind Churchill Heights. There, security cameras captured the moment Cayce Director of Public Safety, Byron Snellgrove, knelt down over the soft ground and uncovered the traces of Faye Swetlik. The little girl's remains were found partially buried in the soil. right beside the matching polka dot rain boot, a scene that left the entire search team in silence. Near her body, a white plastic bag was also recovered as part of the critical evidence. Around the same time, Cody Scott Taylor was found unresponsive on the back porch of his home, marking the end of the tragic series of events he had set in motion. Forensic analysis later confirmed the presence of Cody's DNA under Faye's fingernails, and in turn, her DNA was found on the spoon and within the bag of clothing seized from his apartment. The evidence matched conclusively, leading investigators to a unified conclusion. Cody Scott Taylor was solely responsible for the tragedy of Faye Marie Swetlik. The case was officially closed after all findings were verified, and though the pain remained, the community of Cayce came together to honor Faye with a heartfelt memorial service on February 21st. The local funeral home covered all expenses to help the family hold the ceremony, as an expression of love and compassion from a community mourning the loss of their little angel.
That was Faye Swetlik's favorite song, and it was a somber night for the city of Cayce as the community said goodbye to the 6-year-old who captured the hearts of so many. Trinity Baptist Church opened its doors to hundreds who came to pay their respects to Faye. And before the service tonight, people lined the streets for this procession from her home in the Churchill Heights neighborhood to the church. This colorful tow truck carried Faye, her mother, and her pink bicycle to the service.
David Bates is the owner of Diligent Towing in Lexington. He's also a neighbor and friend of Faye Swetlik's family, so he reached out to Faye's family and asked how he could help. He offered up his pink tow truck to escort Faye's mother and her ashes to Trinity Baptist Church for her memorial service.
The community's come together 100%. I mean, we're all blessed to be a part of this.
The pink truck towing Faye's bicycle on the back joined dozens of motorcycles and tow trucks for the 2-mile procession to the church. One by one, motorcycles and trucks pulled into the church, greeted by hundreds more, there to show their respect for the little girl who made a big impact during her short time here on earth.
Faye will be somebody that we remember for the rest of our lives.
The memorial service for Faye Marie Swetlik took place in an atmosphere that was solemn yet filled with love. Hundreds of people, including police officers, rescue workers, and local residents, gathered to pay their respects. Many wore shades of pink and purple, Faye's 2 favorite colors, creating a scene that was both vibrant and heartwarming. According to her mother, Selena, the sparklier, the better, because Faye had always loved everything bright, colorful, and full of joy. In the memorial area, the family placed a large guest book where attendees could write messages, offer prayers, or draw their memories of Faye using the same colorful pens she loved so much. Each page became a small piece of love, a gentle way for the community to come together and keep Faye's light shining on. It took nearly a year for authorities to officially close the case file on Faye Marie Swetlik. To this day, no one truly knows what happened that afternoon or what caused it to turn into such a heartbreaking tragedy. Police confirmed that all the evidence, from forensic results to the data collected, pointed in the same direction. Cody Scott Taylor was the only person involved. Yet what makes the case so haunting is that no one has ever been able to determine his true motive. Cody left behind no notes, messages, or explanations at his home, and all attempts by digital experts to retrieve information from his phone were unsuccessful. His personal computer was thoroughly examined, but investigators found nothing that could explain the reason behind his actions. While the Cayce Department of Public Safety completed its portion of the investigation, the FBI and the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, SLED, continued to review technical data, piecing together every remaining fragment in the hope of finding something, anything, that could offer even a small measure of closure for Faye's family. In July 2021, Byron Snellgrove, the director of the Cayce Department of Public Safety, who had played a pivotal role throughout the entire investigation into Faye Marie Swetlik's disappearance, officially announced his retirement after more than 35 years of service in law enforcement. In his final public statement, he spoke with emotion. For me, after 65 hours of nonstop searching, the memory of finding Faye's small body on the morning of February 13, 2020, will never fade. He also acknowledged that the tragedy had left a lasting mark on everyone involved in the search. This heartbreaking case deeply affected every officer who gave their all for that little girl. Even after nearly a year, none of us can forget Faye's image, and that journey will forever remain part of our personal memories. To many within the field, Byron's departure marked more than just the end of a career. It symbolized dedication, compassion, and the unyielding pursuit of justice for innocent lives. The loss of Faye Marie Swetlik left a profound void in the heart of the Cayce community, an impact that can still be felt to this day. For many, Faye was more than just a little girl from the neighborhood. She became a symbol of kindness, innocence, and the radiant positivity she once shared with everyone around her. To honor her memory, Springdale Elementary School, where Faye had been a student, dedicated a buddy bench in her name. The small bench, painted in sparkling shades of pink and purple, sits in the middle of the schoolyard, a place where children can sit if they ever feel lonely or sad, inviting others to notice and come over to talk, just as Faye would have done.
If you feel like you don't have a friend to play with, you can sit down on a buddy bench and somebody else will come and sit down with you and talk to you, or somebody will come up to you knowing that you need a friend. And then, kids are awesome that way, and then they can go and play together.
In her deeply emotional eulogy for her daughter, Selena, the mother of Faye Marie Swetlik, spoke not only of a mother's grief, but also shared a profound message with everyone. She urged that Faye's memory should not live on only through tears, but through acts of kindness, because, as she said, love is the greatest miracle of all. Selena asked that people try to live a little more like Faye. Be kinder. Give a compliment to a stranger. Stop to admire a flower. Dance in the rain. And spread joy wherever you go. That was exactly what Faye always did. The little girl with a radiant heart, who taught everyone that even the smallest act of genuine love can make the world a better place. The story of Faye Marie Swetlik is not just a heartbreaking case retold in this true crime documentary. It is a profound reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of protecting the small, precious things around us. From this tragedy, we learn that even in the safest seeming neighborhoods, the most valuable things remain awareness, compassion, and a strong sense of community. Faye left the world with a simple yet powerful lesson, that kindness, no matter how small, can make someone else's life better. Thank you for listening to today's story in this true crime documentary. If you were moved by this story, please share the video to spread its message of love and leave a comment below as a tribute to Faye. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click like to support us in continuing to bring meaningful true stories to you. See you in the next video, where together we continue the journey of uncovering truth, compassion, and justice.